again!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, welcome to Firstpost. I am Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Right on the show today, the Indian men's test team managed to force a result and stay on track for a spot in the final of the World Test Championship after a horrendous start, with the organisers facing flack for a rain-hit second test match. This was against Bangladesh. What was their biggest strength and plan of action? And why was Michael Vaughan, the former England cricketer, trolled for a tweet? All of that coming up on the show. We have loads of news from football. Legendary footballer and face of Cameroon, Samuel Eto'o, has been banned for 6 months by FIFA. Is this the final nail? What's brought this international former footballer and association president into disrepute? And Jose Mourinho is at it again. You can take the man out of the antics, but can you take the antics out of this man? He's at it in the Turkey Football League too. Stay tuned to know more. But first, a look at the headlines on Sports 360. We'll start with cricket. IPL franchise Delhi Capitals co-owner GMR Group have acquired English county side Hampshire Cricket. They've acquired some stake in it, 53%, in a deal worth close to $48 million. This is the first instance of a foreign ownership in county cricket. Over in football, Atletico Madrid are set to face a partial or full stadium shutdown. This after the club's fans disrupted a home game against Real Madrid. Atletico supporters threw objects at Real goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois during the La Liga derby. Atletico has already banned a fan for life. The Spanish Football Federation is set to meet to take a final call. Cristiano Ronaldo starred in an Al Nassr's 2-1 victory over Qatari side Al Rayyan. This was Al Nassr's first win in the AFC Champions League this year. Sadio Mane opened the scoring for Al Nassr in the first half. Ronaldo added another goal in the second. Al Rayyan's only goal came from Roger Geets. Over in tennis, world number 3 Carlos Alcaraz cruised into the semi-final of the China Open. The second seed dominated Karen Khachanov of Russia 7-5, 6-2 straight sets, and it lasted an hour and 37 minutes. Alcaraz next faces third seed Daniil Medvedev. And baseball legend Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83. Despite being the all-time hits leader, Rose's career was rather tainted. He was banned for life on gambling charges while managing Cincinnati Reds in 1989. Fans have now gathered at Pete Rose's statue outside the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Fans at the Indian city of Kanpur got what they came for. Despite no cricket being played on close to 3 days, and organisers facing a lot of flack for a shoddily conducted test match, we have a result between India and Bangladesh. India has won the second test and have a clean sweep over the visitors in the 2-test series. 2 things to reflect on. 1. India's hunt for a spot in the final of the World Test Championship. That is on track. And second, the manner in which India forced a result with just under 2 days of action. The biggest talking point in this test has been the cricket that they ended up playing, that India ended up playing on day 4. The attacking mindset when India came out to bat for the first time in this match was incredible. They knew there was just a little over a day's worth of play left in the test, and they shouldn't just be hanging around. The whole concept of the art of test cricket was turned on its head, and Captain Rohit Sharma, in fact, led that charge. His 2 sixes at the start to kick his innings off really set the tone for the entire Indian batting.
It was a collective buy-in from the batting group. From Gigi's point of view as well, we decided let's see if we can take the game forward as fast as possible, and you need a leader from the front to do that. Rohit has done it so many times for India, and to go first ball bang 6 just to make his mark in that fashion.
The whole team collectively went on the aggressive mode. Yashasvi Jaiswal was the star of the top of the order, a 51 ball 72 at the start. And it had to send Bangladesh into panic mode. In fact, Moni Mokul last night even said that Bangladesh looked like they weren't expecting that sort of an attack. The idea was to get a result. The agenda was clear. They had to score as much as they could that day, and they had to do it fast. Jaiswal and Rohit set the tempo, really. Shubman Gill followed. Virat Kohli got off to some hits, but the lower order assault didn't come from Rishabh Pant this time, but KL Rahul instead, who seems to have found that rhythm once more. A 43-ball 68 really putting that bow on the present pretty nicely. In fact, India was so clinical in their plan, very true to their offensive play, that they broke plenty of records on the day. They were the fastest to 50 runs, getting that in around 3 overs. Fastest in tests to 100, fastest to 150, 200 and 250. Sure, wickets were falling, but the scoring rate was continuously high enough. And day 5 was a mere formality with Ashwin and Jadeja, their 2 bowlers, doing the deed. But the one thing that's got everyone talking is what Michael Vaughan ended up saying at the end of day 4. Yes, he said India was basically following England's Bazball theory. Vaughan knew what he was getting into, laying the bait out there, but he probably didn't expect to be trolled as much as he actually was. India's Virender Sehwag was probably the one who needs to be credited for this sort of a fierce play. He's always played with an attacking intent. It's not something England discovered or invented on their own. Fans, of course, lashed out at Vaughan for this comment, saying India had plenty of power hitters who weren't inspired by any English game plan. He somehow always seems to get into such troubles, does Vaughan. Like Jaiswal or Rishabh Pant, they even had the unlikeliest quarters stand up and get into deliverance mode in KL Rahul. Vaughan really getting caught in his own gambit. But the bigger picture here, India men's team marches on with New Zealand being their next opponent. One of the biggest sporting names to come out of Cameroon, Samuel Eto'o, finds himself at crossroads. A football legend who had a global impact, shining the spotlight on Cameroon. The very same Eto'o is now coming into the middle of all things infamous. Samuel Eto'o, who is the president of Cameroonian Football Federation, or the FECAFOOT, has been handed a 6-month ban by FIFA. He cannot attend any international matches of Cameroon. This after FIFA's disciplinary body found Eto'o guilty of offensive behaviour. Reason for the ban: FIFA had enough of proof of Eto'o misbehaving in a women's under-20 World Cup match between Cameroon and Brazil. It's reported that Eto'o put pressure on the referees during the round of 16 game, a match that Cameroon lost to Brazil 1-3. It's believed that Samuel Eto'o was furious over a penalty decision, which resulted in Brazil's comeback into the game and eventual victory. It's understandable to be upset about a refereeing call. Sport has seen many examples of that, but you don't show dissent or force to the extent that you are banned by the governing body. That's unbecoming behavior from a legend. But here's where it gets murkier for Eto'o. This isn't the first instance of things going south, and Eto'o being in the middle of it all. Ever since he took charge of FECAFOOT in 2021, controversies have repeatedly followed the former Barcelona player. Recently, Eto'o was involved in a controversial spat with national team coach Mark Bryce. The duo was involved in a massive argument. The cause for the row, Eto'o was furious because Bryce's appointment hadn't come from the Football Federation. There were also reports that Bryce was sacked by Eto'o briefly right after that. But when reports of the row went public, Eto'o was forced to issue an apology and reappointed Bryce.
I apologize because during our first unfortunate meeting, there was a lot of emotion. But the Cameroonian people are more important than us, and it is for them that we must work. Your mission is not an easy one, despite your qualities and experience, but you should know that you will have our support.
And while the Bryce incident ended rather amicably, to the public eye at least, some of the past incidences have not. I'll give you another example. A few months ago, Eto'o was fined $200,000 for signing a brand deal with an online gambling firm. The Cameroonian was accused of ethics violation. At the start of this year, Eto'o was accused of match fixing, inciting violence and making threats to players in the national side. In a file sent to FIFA's ethics committee, it is alleged that Eto'o is abusing his powers as the president, a matter that FIFA is, of course, still investigating because, as we know, any conflict has two sides to it, and Eto'o's side is just as valid, yes, just that he has not come out and made any statements regarding these allegations. And if these allegations weren't enough, Eto'o's public outburst has been a long-standing cause of concern. After the South Africa versus Brazil 2022 World Cup match, the former Chelsea striker was involved in an altercation with a fan. Not the best thing to be portrayed, and Eto'o isn't just a president of a federation. He's a legend of the game who represents Cameroon football at the international stage. He has been part of Cameroon's golden generation, an Olympic gold medal in 2000, 2 Africa Cup titles, and at the domestic level too, 4 domestic league titles in Spain and Italy, and 4 Champions League crowns. Accolades enough to earn at least 1 Ballon d'Or, which he never did. He was consistently nominated for the trophy, though, for years during his playing career, even finishing 3rd in 2005. He is one of the greatest footballers to grace the game. But currently, grace is surely not the word that you could see yourself associating with all of this that Eto'o finds himself in. Because as the president, he has the opportunity to revolutionize Cameroon football. A player who has been on the ground, experienced the struggles and challenges, seen the problems footballers have had up close and risen through the ranks, beating all of that. Eto'o has the chance to bring about a change in the system currently, especially at a time when Africa's sporting culture is under the scanner. Just recently, a marathon runner, Rebecca Cheptegei, was murdered. That became the latest of a string of a worrying pattern of female athletes in Africa being killed. Even a world champion, Agnes Tirop, was killed in her own home. And now these ugly allegations against Eto'o are just continuing to drag Cameroon football further down. Given the latest suspension, it is unclear whether Eto'o would return to his role, because even if the African football has been considerate towards Eto'o because of his legacy, the question remains for how long can they bear this and what more? Football is the artistry of 2 components, magic weaved by legends like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Diego Maradona, Pele, to name a few, and of course tactics of geniuses like Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, Zinedine Zidane, Jose Mourinho. But apart from their genius, it's the antics of managers like Jose Mourinho that make football more interesting to watch. Mourinho, who is known for his sarcastic and vocal protests from the dugout, added another episode to the list. The Fenerbahce manager protested a VAR decision by placing a laptop in front of the TV camera to prove that the referee's decision was in fact incorrect. He did not get any brownie points for that grand gesture, but was definitely docked. This is not the first time Mourinho has shown his irritable side, resulting in hilarious moments for us, for sure. The special one has been producing many such special moments for years now. Take a look.
Portugal, England, Italy, Spain and England again. Not Peter Dury poetically describing Cristiano Ronaldo's career trajectory, but the career path of an equally big wizard of the game. Jose Mourinho, the special one, who has travelled places to impart his own knowledge. And while the country or the style of football have been different, Mourinho and his antics from the sidelines have been a constant. And that is now visible in Turkey too. When Mourinho took charge of the Turkish club Fenerbahce, it was believed that the Portuguese manager would finally slow down. But this is Jose Mourinho. His passion can never be mellow. During the Fenerbahce and Antalyaspor match, Mourinho protested against a VAR decision. And how did he do that? He put a laptop in front of a TV camera, displaying a picture in an effort to show that the offside decision was incorrect. The sight was incredible, but unfortunately no points for being a wisecrack here. Instead, Mourinho was shown a yellow card. And even after that, he did not stop.
For us, it's a good goal. I like good VAR. I just want a VAR that helps the referee to take the right decisions.
This is after Fenerbahce won the match 2-0. Despite leading, Mourinho was hungry for that third goal. So imagine how livid he would have been if his side were to lose. Turkish club Galatasaray know exactly how that feels. Last week, Jose Mourinho let the Galatasaray coach Okan Buruk have it. Mourinho did not take part in the post-match press conference. The reason? Not because Fenerbahce lost the match 1-3, but because Buruk took an hour to finish his press conference. So a furious Mourinho decided to not attend the conference at all. And the heat is not just restricted to the sidelines or around the media box. If Mourinho wants to make a point, he will do it in a car park too. During his stint with Italian club AS Roma, Mourinho was fiercely critical of the refereeing in a side's clash with Sevilla in the Europa League final. Roma ended up losing that one on penalties. Mourinho confronted the match official Anthony Taylor in the car park. And obviously Mourinho was far from polite. The language was indeed colourful. Following the confrontation, he was handed a 4-match suspension. From Chelsea to Manchester United to even Real Madrid, Mourinho is known for his touchline aggression. So fierce that the chances of him getting a red card is higher than that of his own players. Back when he was still part of Europe, competing for Champions League and league titles, the attitude was never to let his opponents get under his skin, even when he was losing. So much so that a verbal battle even transformed into a physical one at times. In 2011, when Mourinho was Real Madrid's manager, he took the Supercopa loss against Barcelona personally. He jabbed a finger in Barcelona assistant coach Tito Villanova's face. Tito responded by striking Mourinho. The fight turned ugly and Mourinho was suspended for 2 matches. But does this faze the special one? Not one bit. Mourinho pointing out the number of times he has been suspended? Yeah, sure. We just need to multiply that with 100. But it is this aggression that makes Mourinho the special one. His never-ending desire for perfection and that thirst to stay on top wherever he goes. And now the chapter continues in Turkey too. Maybe this is just the start of some more crazy Mourinho moments to follow. He's only sounded a warning for the officials, the players and the journalists too.
I think I'm a special one.
The rarest of rare moments occurred in North Korea. The leader Kim Jong-un was seen smiling during his interaction with the women's under-20 football team, the same who won the World Cup a historic 3rd time. So definitely had to make it to our last serve. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow, of course. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.